Hey guys, welcome back to Hands-On channel. I wanted to show you guys my little rain catchment system. It's a very low-tech approach here. I saw another video on YouTube years ago, and I can't remember who the guy was now, or I would give him credit, but I have no idea. But I just basically went up to Lowe's, and you could probably do it at Home Depot or wherever you can buy your PVC. And I bought some 3-inch PVC, and you can see I've got a cap in there, but I've got that thing cracked where it will just let a little bit seep out. And the idea of this is it's a low-tech first flush system. So essentially it runs out of the gutter, you know, it collects on the steel roof, runs down the gutter, drops into this, I can't remember the name of this elbow up here, but it's a special kind of elbow instead of just a straight, or I'm sorry, a T. It's a special kind of T. So just get something like that, street T, or I can't remember what it's called, but then I just took a regular elbow and came back down over here. So the idea is that when it rains, the first bit that comes off the roof, the dirty stuff, will come down into this pipe and it will build up, and so all the sediment and the dirt and the majority of it will get captured here, and then it'll get totally full and it'll start pouring over that, just, you know, by the fact that it's all the way up to that level now. I don't have any, I did actually stick a Mountain Dew bottle in there, a 20-ounce bottle, because I had read somewhere that that's a good idea to have a stopper up there, but I really don't see the point in it. And in fact, mine kept getting stuck, so I took the thing out of there. And because we have these pine trees here, as you can see them over here, these pine needles got in there and compromised my Mountain Dew float bottle here. So I ended up taking that out. I just pulled it out through the bottom, and it works just fine, because, you know, basically the dirty stuff comes down and collects in here on the first flush, as they call it. And you can increase or decrease the amount that it seeps out here. I've just kind of got it set to a trickle right now, but yeah, this is my first test run with it. I glued all of this stuff on this side, on the downspout side, and I glued that joint right there, and you can see where the purple is. I glued that one and I glued this one, but I left some of these in the back loose, and the reason why I did that was because in the future, I did it for a couple of reasons. For one, with this T in the center, and I actually left this one over here loose as well. With these pieces here loose, I can actually easily just take this and pull it up, raise it up out of there. I don't think I can do it one-handed, but basically it just twists on the PVC there. And I just put you can see the screen sticking out here. I had some fiberglass screen for like your window, and I just stuck that down in there and screwed the cap on. I cut a hole around here for the PVC to slide down into. The only thing I'm not sure about is on my overflow system. You can see how I've got that set up there to where when this fills up, this pipe will fill up and then it will run down over here. Well, my only problem was I couldn't find a fitting, the right size fitting here, so that I could screw this on. So this is actually just loose in there. So it may just pour out right here, and I'm prepared for that to happen. If it does, I'll figure out some other way to seal this cap to this pipe if that's necessary. I'm hoping that it will just fill up, and there may be a little bit of leakage here, but not a lot, and it'll just build up a little, you know, a little column up here, and then it'll just overflow over that way. If it doesn't work out, I'll have to, you know, come up with something else. But in my downpipe, you can see I put a T in there, and the idea, of course, I just said it builds up to that level and then overflows down here to the bottom. And I just stuck a brick down there to, or a piece of a block, just to you know, help break the water pressure off of that and spread it out a bit. But yeah, this is a real low-tech approach to it. We're going to see how well it works the next time it rains, but when we get these big rains, this state that I'm in right now, we get a lot of big rains in the early part of the spring, early summer, and if you don't catch this stuff when it's coming down, you know, nice and heavy like that, it dries out quite a bit, and we end up getting droughts and stuff a lot here. And you know, there might be a month or two where it doesn't rain. So if I can capture as much water as I can during the springtime months and the big monsoon rains, then fill this up. Now we're really just planning on using this for irrigation for plants and stuff like that. But you know, in a grid down situation or in a survival situation, you could filter this and, you know, drink the stuff. Now, one thing that I didn't do that you're going to see on some of the other videos that pertain to these IBC type totes is that I didn't paint it, or I didn't, you can put plastic liner around it. You pull it out of the cage and you put plastic liner around it, and supposedly that helps to minimize how much algae builds up inside of there, because it does happen. So my plan is I'm just going to use it, try to use it up as much as possible. So, you know, if it rains real heavy and I get a full container, I'll try to go ahead and use that up for watering over the next week when it's dry, and then hopefully I'll always be ahead of the game. But yeah, you might be able to see that. I've got a little drip right here, and that's okay. I didn't glue that joint, so I really don't mind that. It's not a problem. If it does start to become a problem, then I'll glue that joint up. But yeah, just a real simple, fairly inexpensive. The PVC pipes cost me, I think they were 11 bucks a piece for the 3-inch PVC. I had to buy one of these tees here, this one here locally, and it actually cost me like $8, I think. So that was my most expensive piece. It was just a standard PVC tee. I'm not sure why that one was so much more, except for the fact that I had to buy it here close to my house, which is not in the city. So anyways, you can see there, count up the 1, 2 elbows, 3 90-degree elbows, a 45, a T here. Actually, there's a 4th 90-degree elbow there, and another odd-shaped T there. And you might be able to use just a standard T, but I thought this would give me a better shot at achieving my goal of getting the dirty water to go down one side, and then when it hits that level, it'll automatically bleed over here. And it didn't actually rain today. I just been playing with it with some water on the roof here, squirting a little water up on the top of the roof, and there's just barely any in there. So these containers, when you get them, you know, close to full, it actually gives you a pretty good amount of water pressure. Now, you're not going to be able to go uphill with it, but the way this property is shaped, that's no problem for me. It's downhill in most places, so I shouldn't have an issue with that. And I kind of been putting this off because I needed to dig back out here. You can see where I did a little digging to just help this drain a little better back behind my shop here. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. Now, it took me a little while to get it all dialed in the way I wanted it, and to get a little down slope on that T-pipe there, the one that actually goes into the container. But you can see it hopefully on camera that I've got just enough drop on it where it drains out. So we'll do some more testing again, and if I get a good rain here in the next couple of days, I'll come back through here, and I'll try to get the GoPro with the case on it, and we'll see if we can check it out and see how well it performs under a big load. Because like I said, we get some pretty hardcore rains around here. So the idea is, this is a 30 by 30 shop, so I'm not sure what the square footage of the roof would be on this, but the idea is that at least on this side, I'm catching everything I can. Oh, and one other thing that I did, and one of the reasons I didn't glue all this stuff up, was that one day I could take that elbow loose right there on the end that's going to my downpipe, and I could connect this over to another container and basically take it from 275 to 550 gallons. So yeah, that's an idea that I'm thinking about doing that. And of course, I've got a whole nother side over here where potentially, you'd have to check with your local laws and stuff like that, but potentially, I could catch a couple of, or at least 1,000 gallons of water back here and store it and use it for irrigation purposes. So just thought I'd give you guys some ideas here on things you can do, because water is a very important critical aspect of this, trying to be on the homestead, and especially if you're in an off-grid situation. Now, we're not here at this place, but I have that lovely little well house over there to plug into the grid and pump that water up here for me. But one day, if that didn't work, I may be relying on a system like this. So just some things to think about, and I like the way I can expand this out. I've given myself options for future expandability, and really there's no limit to it. I could actually, I was telling my wife, I could actually stack these things up. I saw a guy, I think his channel is called LDS Prepper or something like that, and he stacked them up back here and basically had them too high, and there's a way you can plumb them together where you can make them fill all of them equally, or I can't exactly remember how it works, but one of them fills first, then it goes over to the next one. So just depends on how much rainwater you're dealing with, but here we deal with quite a bit of it. So just some things to think about, guys, for your prepping and for your homesteading. And I hope it helps you out. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments. And until next time, we'll see you later.